Good morning. I'm sitting here in my room. My baby's actually over there in this little door bouncy thing. That's his favorite thing ever. And so I had a minute. And so I wanted to talk a little bit about personal development because if you know anything about even in the health and fitness arena or any sort of area where you're just trying to improve yourself, you have a habit that you're trying to break, or maybe you're trying to add a new habit, you're changing your mindset and you're just trying to improve on your personal attitude or whatever, it all starts with personal development. And all that really means is investing in yourself in some sort of way. And I saw another leader talk about it's true. If, leaders are, readers are leaders. It's true that we do get a lot of value from reading books. But can I be honest for a second? Whenever I was in first or second grade, I was diagnosed with borderline dyslexia, and so reading is something that is really tough for me. I can read, and a lot of people, whenever I say that, they're surprised because I have a blog, and some people say I have a gift of writing, but I feel like I have a gift of writing because reading, written word, is kind of hard for me to process, and so the way that I write is how my brain processes, and so I need breaks, and I need bold words, and I need italics. I need extra things to make it stick out to me, or I'll just read the whole page and I won't know what I actually read. And so I was a little offended. I don't really get offended. So as you can see, I'm not really offended, but I just wanted to say, if you're not somebody who enjoys reading, don't count yourself out, because all personal development is investing in yourself. And that can look different for you. If you're not a reader, if that's something that's not easy for you, or you don't enjoy it, then there are other ways for you to internalize that information, that personal development. And so I'm going to share with you some different things that I do. I probably spend an hour or more on personal development every single day, because that is my goal. I want to be better tomorrow than I am today, and the only way that I'm going to do that is to learn something from somebody else who is a few steps ahead of me. And so for me, especially, like I said, my baby is right there. I have 2 other kids, so my life is just kind of crazy right now. For me to focus on reading would take so much of my energy, and I feel like whenever I do try to do it, I end up frustrated because I'm interrupted, and then my brain just doesn't function that way. And so I end up reading maybe a chapter of a book, and then I don't finish the rest of the book because I give up. And so I have some books that I've gone through, pretty quickly, but most books, it's hard for me to process in my state of life right now. And so I'm going to tell you what I do. And so one of the things that I've just learned about is podcast. And so Adam has been listening to podcasts for a while. If you're a podcast listener, tell me, what are some podcasts that you like? You can learn about any sort of topic, and a lot of the ones that I'm listening to right now are mindset and business and marketing and things like that. And so those are different things that you can listen to, and you can, wash the dishes or fold the clothes while you're listening. And so you're processing that information and you're improving on yourself without having to sit and read a book. And I just was a little, like I said, whenever I heard this other person say, if you're not reading, then, you're not doing your personal development. And I'm like, no, I don't agree with that at all, because personal development can look at so many different ways. We can improve ourselves and we can learn a new skill so many different ways. And so a lot of people who are like, I'm not readers, and then they don't do any personal development, and that is just not gonna work. And so number one, I would say, is maybe find a podcast that you really like. If you're not familiar with podcasts, there's an app that you can download on your phone, and then you can search by keywords. And so that's one thing, is just using podcasts. Another thing is YouTube. Whenever I got started, this was 5 years ago, I didn't even use my smartphone that much. I was connected to a computer in my girls' playroom. So while we were doing puzzles and we were doing all this kinds of stuff, I had a YouTube video that would be playing in the background and I would be listening while we were playing. And so now I feel like our lives are so different because technology is always changing and growing and adapting to how mobile our lives are. And so, now you can watch YouTube videos so easily on your phone, put in some headphones and listen to it. And so if you're a visual learner like I am, then maybe find some YouTube videos. Again, you can search keywords, think about things that you're struggling with, how to overcome X, or, how to XYZ, without blank. You can search for those on YouTube and find some videos that actually teach you some different skills. And so those are two right there. Another thing is, doing a class. There are different devotionals and things like that. For me, even doing a workbook is better than reading a book by itself. So maybe there's a book that you want to do and it has a workbook that goes with it. And so maybe attaching something that's, kinetic and written down so that you can write down what you're thinking instead of just reading the page and forgetting what you're reading and not processing it. And so that's something that helps me. So if I am trying to process something, I always have to have a notebook or something and taking notes, because I can read it, but sometimes it just doesn't stick. And I was a speech therapist, so I know what's happening. And it's okay that all of us are different. I have gifts in other areas, and that's something that I've learned. And so, that's okay. A lot of people who are creative, they may struggle in other areas, and that's what makes us all unique. And so don't feel like it's, even if it's something that you struggle with, feel like there's something here that I'm good at, and I'm going to be great in that one area. And so usually because we're all individual and we're all unique, different things don't work for everybody, and that's okay. So I wanted to be the voice that said, if reading books is hard for you, don't count yourself out and don't say, well, I can't do personal development because I'm not a reader. Find what works for you and do it every day. And so, like I said, I usually do a podcast, a YouTube video. I subscribe to a couple of different email lists that will send me some different things every day, so that reminds me, oh yeah, I'm gonna listen to that. I'm gonna, fill my cup with that. And so think about how you can fill your cup every single day, and so that you're always improving. I'm going to show you my baby because obviously you're hearing him. He loves this little bouncer thing, and he's teething, and so he's always drooling like crazy and chewing on that thing. But so this is what my office looks like. But I can't complain. So anyways, I'm going to put together a resource so that you can figure out, what are some different ways that you can do personal development that don't include, reading a book. And I am a big fan of reading. And like I said, it's just sometimes it's harder to process information that way. And since personal development is something you should do every single day, then find what works for you so that it's easy to fit into your life and easy for you to do. Because like I said, it should be all of our goal to be better tomorrow than we are today. And the only way we're going to be that and improve is if we invest in ourselves some way and learn something every single day. Learn something new every single day and push ourselves a little bit every single day. So I hope that this message found you well, and welcome to a new week.